Jai Sriman Narayan. Jai Sriman Narayan. Jai Sriman Narayan. I pay my obeisances to my spiritual master, Srimad Jagat Guru Sudarshan Acharyaji Maharaj. I pay my obeisances to Lord Sri Ramanuj. I pay my obeisances to Mother Lakshmi, and I pay my obeisances to Lord Sriman Narayan. I welcome all of you here physically at the Sri Narayan Dham in Durban, South Africa. I welcome those of you that's watching this discourse live, locally, nationally, and internationally. And I welcome in advance those that's going to be watching this discourse when it is posted in YouTube and in the various groups from around the world subsequently. We continue in our series, Modern Science is Catching Up with Supreme Science. And we recap quickly the origin of Supreme Science is Lord Sriman Narayan. In this Kaliyug, the 28th Kaliyug of this cycle of creation, Lord Sri Ramanuj is the supreme scientist. And in this 21st century, Swami Sudarshan Acharyaji Maharaj is the supreme scientist. Connecting with this absolute truth, I want to clarify a position that is held by many and which brings confusion in the teachings of Sanatan Dharma. It is said that there is only one truth with many forms and many names. Have you heard of that? There is only one truth with many forms and many names. Now, if we look at this conversely, we cannot say all names and all forms is this one truth. Can we say it?
No.
Why?
Each name could mean a different thing.
But then we say this one truth has many names and many forms, yet we cannot say all forms and all names is this singular truth. Do you understand? And this is a huge misconception and confusion in Sanatan Dharma. So they use my initial statement of this truth, this singular truth, this absolute truth has many names and many forms, and they derive many systems to attain this one truth. We said the origin of all science is Lord Sriman Narayan. So let us get a few dictionary meanings. Sita? So let us get the meaning of science, and anyone else that got internet. Science. We want to know what science means. And while she is doing that, we say Lord Sriman Narayan is the origin of all science. You found it? Sita, you're sitting in the Sri Narayan Dham. Lord Narayan is not hard to find yet.
Science is...
Is science eluding you again, even in its meaning?
Science, okay. Science from the Latin word scientitia, that's knowledge, right? It is a systematic enterprise that builds and organizes knowledge in the form of testable explanations and predictions about the universe.
Stop. Keep. Don't lose. Don't lose. Alright? So it is, science is knowledge. Science is knowledge, systemized knowledge. Sita, you read, why you creasing your brows? You told me that. Now why are you confused from what you told me? Systemized and organized knowledge. Knowledge about what?
About the universe.
About the universe. Okay. Have you got the definition of science? Science is knowledge, systemized and organized in relation to the universe. So that is what science is. And when I said that Lord Narayan is the origin of science, then many thought that the Guru has shifted his position and went scientific. No, we subsist scientifically. We are the primary science. Lord Narayan and the Sri Ramanuj Sampradaya is the primary science institutions. The principal science institutions. Lord Narayan, the Sri Sampradaya, Lord Narayan is the origin of science. He is the origin of creation. What exists in creation, Sita? No, you don't find it in your phone. You won't find it in your phone. All these universes exist in creation. Creation is within one aspect of Lord Sriman Narayan. Creation is within one aspect of Lord Sriman Narayan, and we are discussing creation. We are discussing creation, and if you discuss creation in which all of these universes exist, then we are discussing absolute science in its principal form. Modern science is secondary science. Modern science is secondary science because they are trying to understand creation from the middle. They are trying to understand creation from the middle. The Sri Sampradaya knows science from the beginning. For example, scientists are busy looking at a tree. Sita, scientists have a tree on the lab. They have a tree on their lab table. Okay? They're using all kinds of experiments to see whether the root appeared first or the topmost leaf appeared first. What they do in Sita?
Trying to figure out what is first.
Right? The seeds are there, the fruits are there, the branches are there, everything is on this tree, and the roots of the trees are there. But scientists are digging the tree all over. They dig in the tree all over. They're looking at the branches, they're looking at the leaves, they're looking at the roots, they're looking at everything. Okay? But if they take one seed, of the tree in the lab and germinate that seed, what will they find? The formation of the tree. Won't they, Sita? Yes. The seed to understand the universes is the Vedic mantras in the Upanishads. The seeds to understand the creation of the universe and all that is contained within is in the Upanishads. So if scientists want to understand the principal science, they will find it in the Upanishads. So I wanted to, at this late stage, clarify what I had stated in the previous 3 or 4 satsangs when I boldly declared to the world that modern science is trying to catch up with
Spiritual science.
supreme science. The Vedas, religion, spirituality, rituals, traditions, customs, these are words used by those that intend to confuse those that belong in Sanatan Dharma. So they make the Vedas a ritualistic text, they make the Vedas a religious text, they make the Vedas a spiritual text, and they make the Vedas an ancient folk lore. They make the Vedas a mythology. They make the Vedas non-existence by throwing these words. By throwing these words and associating it with the Vedas. The Vedas are pristine. They are pure. They are absolute. The real meaning is hidden in a form of a story, so that the absolute science of the Vedas may not be used by those that do not live within the parameters of the teachings of the Vedas. Don't you think God is super, 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 super intelligent? You know? Yes, because He is the source of all intelligence. He is the source of all intelligence. And He has hidden the absolute, the supreme science in Vedic mantras only to be unraveled to those that earn His grace. only to be unraveled by those who earn His grace. So again, I boldly stated that the absolute system for finding the absolute science is the Sri Ramanuj Sampradaya. And we have to now affirm this, don't you think? We have to clarify, because this declaration I'm making may sound sentimental because I belong to the Sri Ramanuj Sampradaya, and it may sound sectarian because I'm trying to postulate my Sampradaya above everything else. No, I'm doing this with evidence, and I'm going to show you evidentially why I am stating that the only source of absolute science can be found in the Sri Sampradaya. And Sampradaya means tradition. Sampradaya means tradition. Right? So let's see. I stated in our last discourse that Veda Vyas compiled all the Vedas. And then Kaliyug set in, and the teachings of the Vedas were forgotten in the minds of humanity through the impulsion of Kaliyug. Then I said that Lord Sriman Narayan incarnated as Lord Buddha and decried the teachings of the Vedas as false. And then Lord Shiva appeared as Adi Shankaracharya, and he brought back the Vedas by putting a few pieces of the puzzle together which fit mechanically but not in context. And he postulated a philosophy of Advaita. So who would be the supreme scientist, and how would one become the supreme scientist? I am saying this boldly, that Lord Sri Ramanuj is the only supreme scientist of this 28th Kaliyug that re-established Sanatan Dharma. How would one re-establish Sanatan Dharma?
Re-establishing the Vedas as a whole.
Yes. When the teachings of the Vedas were lost in the mind of humanity, then it was only Lord Sri Ramanuj who re-established the four Vedas as compiled by Veda Vyas. Lord Sri Ramanuj re-established the import of all Vedic knowledge without moving either way, not even 1 millimeter, by the absolute compilation of Srila Veda Vyas. From him followed Madhva Acharya, and he postulated the Dvaita philosophy. That philosophy that he postulated belongs to who? Vinita? It belongs to him. it belongs to him. That deviation in his understanding of the original Vedas belongs to who? To Madhva Acharya. Similarly, that deviation in Advaita belongs to who?
Adi Shankar.
Adi Shankar Acharya. It does not belong to Lord Sriman Narayan, neither does it belong to Srila Veda Vyas, the compiler. It belongs to an individual soul. And supreme science cannot belong to any individual soul, because science has a source. And the source of all science is Lord Sriman Narayan. Do you understand? All of you understand? Then was born Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he postulated a system of philosophy called Asintya Bheda Bheda. Asintya Bheda Bheda means what? What does it mean? Siddharth, you was in that university. How many years you was in that university? 2.5 years in that university, and you don't know their philosophy. Asintya Bheda Bheda means simultaneously one and different. Let us analyze simultaneously one and different. What does simultaneously mean?
At the same time.
Same time? Can you be one and different at the same time? Can you be one to whom and different from whom? Can you experience this one and different? For who is this Vedas compiled? For man? Yes. Then man must be able to experience all that the Vedas is compiled for. Must he not? If you cannot experience being one and different at the same time, then can that truth exist? Lord Sri Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that there never was a time you did not exist, no I did not exist, nor these kings did not exist. And there'll never be a time in the future where you won't exist and I won't exist and the kings won't exist. What is that declaration?
We are eternal.
That relationship is eternal. You will always be the individual souls, and Lord Sriman Narayan will always be the supreme soul. If that declaration is made, then if a philosophy say that you can be one and different with God, can that philosophy have any truth in it? We are using the Vedas. I'm using the Vedas to interpret. So I said earlier on that there is a Vedic injunction, from one truth emanates many forms and many names. It does not mean that on the outside those forms and names represent that truth. Do you all understand? Do you all understand? And in last week's discourse, I stated the impetus for this material universe is the innate nature of the which is
Love and hate.
love and hate. Love and hate are positive and negative. It is the negative and the positive that fuels and maintain the status quo of creation. No love, no hate, no creation. Are you understanding? So similarly, if only the Sri Ramanuj Sampradaya exists, can there be creation?
Yes.
No. Because for this creation to exist, there have to be opposites. So for this absolute truth, we have to have many, many lies. For this absolute truth, we have to have many, many lies. And this is why you will get, as we move on, gurus will come like a dynamite. They will come like a dynamite. And people from around the world will be dynamically drawn towards them. And when they leave, they explode like a dynamite. And they do not have disciples of the same status quo, of the same status quo to sustain their dynamic state of appearance. Why? Because only the absolute truth can sustain itself eternally. Because absolute truth is eternal. Partial truth is temporary. And you would have noticed, go back in history. I don't want to name these gurus because there are many institutions after them. But every institution after the guru became a materially mechanical system. When these gurus left, then their institutions became materially mechanical systems. Now let's go to the Sri Ramanuj Sampradaya. Let's go to the Sri Ramanuj Sampradaya. Right from Dwapara Yuga, when the darkness set in, Lord Narayan took various births, as partial manifestations of himself, as the 12 Alvars. And there was a continuous stream of the Sri Sampradaya right up to Lord Sri Ramanuj. So the Sri Sampradaya never disappeared. The Sri Sampradaya never disappeared because it is eternal. There was just a darkness. There was no annihilation. There was only a darkness. And Lord Sri Ramanuj re-established the light of Sanatan Dharma, which was already there by the originator of Sanatan Dharma, Lord Sriman Narayan. Lord Sri Ramanuj, if you take smoke and cover it on a light bulb, when that light shines, can you see it bright enough? When you wipe that light, and what will happen? That light will start shining in its original form. And that is what Lord Sri Ramanuj did. It is a misconception that Lord Sri Ramanuj created his own philosophy. Lord Sri Ramanuj did not create a philosophy. He re-established the Vedas in its impeccable and immaculate state. That is what Lord Sri Ramanuj did. These other gurus came and deviated from the foundation of Lord Sri Ramanuj. Madhva Acharya took 80% of Lord Sri Ramanuj and deviated 20%, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took that 80% of Madhva Acharya and deviated another 20 to 30%. Okay? But all these gurus have a positive role, although their philosophies deviate from the Sri Ramanuj Sampradaya, or it deviates from the absolute philosophy. They help keep the status quo of creation intact. For I would not be sitting on this chair if there were no alternate philosophies. The only reason I'm sitting on this chair is to dispute alternate philosophies. And all these previous gurus gave indications openly to the whole world that they are pure Vaishnavites and that Lord Narayan is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Alright? So Adi Shankaracharya, in his Bhagavad Gita, he stated very clearly that beyond this material universe, there is only Lord Sriman Narayan. Madhva Acharya, although he diverted, he also stated that beyond this material universe is only Lord Sriman Narayan. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he himself declared that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is Lord Sriman Narayan. Swami Prabhupada, in all his translations, he has confirmed that Lord Sriman Narayan is the Supreme Personality of Godhead more than he has declared that Lord Sri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So all these gurus gave clues that they were postulating an alternate philosophy, or else they would have not stated that Lord Sriman Narayan is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this is how and why I am stating that if you want to know the absolute truth from which all names and forms emanated, then you can only get it in the Sri Sampradaya. And I'm going to further give you evidence. So when was Sanatan Dharma re-established?
1,000 years ago.
1,000 years ago. Throughout India, the Sri Sampradaya continues to vibrate with the pulse of Lord Sriman Narayan right up to now, to this point in time. And those of you watching, hearing and seeing, it has not deviated. The Sri Sampradaya have not deviated at all from the moment it was established by Lord Sri Ramanuj, or re-established by Lord Sri Ramanuj. It is as vibrant as 1,000 years ago in any part of India, south and north. The Sri Sampradaya continues to be the soul of this universe. The Sri Sampradaya continues to be the soul of this universe because it is the absolute truth. Not one sentence, not one comma, not one hyphen has been changed from the Vedas by the Sri Sampradaya. By the Sri Sampradaya. So if you want to know the truth, truth means knowledge in its entirety. If you want to know the truth, and truth means knowledge in its entirety, then it is only the Sri Sampradaya, since its re-establishment 1,000 years ago and to date, is giving you knowledge in its entirety. And there is nobody that is born. There is nobody that is born that can dispute one sentence of the re-establishment of the Sri Sampradaya by Lord Sri Ramanuj. Authentically and through scripture. Authentically through scripture, not one person can dispute the re-establishment of the Sri Sampradaya through scripture. All of you understand? And it is for this reason, not for sentimental reason, not for emotional reason, not because I belong in this family, that I'm saying the Sri Ramanuj Sampradaya is the only absolute truth. I'm saying it because the scriptures declare it. And the scriptures personify is Lord Sriman Narayan. Now look, in this 1,000 years, how many great saints came like dynamite, exploded like dynamite? Their fragments called disciples are busy running institutions in a mechanical, materialistic manner. You understand, all of you? But the essence of the absolute truth continues to vibrate in each and every bona fide spiritual master belonging to the Sri Ramanuj Sampradaya. This school continues to exist and it continues to enlighten the world because knowledge has no ceiling. Knowledge has no ceiling. These other philosophies their knowledge is limited, and that is why their institutions cannot contain that which their saint postulated. And that is why they'll come to an apex and they start diminishing. But the Sri Sampradaya continues to grow. It took its birth on the African continent. And from this African continent, it is pervading all those parts that were not pervaded by India. And we have evidence, tangible evidence, to make this declaration. And I'm stating again that no human intellect can undermine the Vishishtadvaita philosophy of Lord Sri Ramanuj. No human intellect can undermine the Vishishtadvaita philosophy of Lord Sri Ramanuj. So this is the reason we are firm, I'm using Mataji's word, firm and strong in what we preach. Because our preaching comes from an absolute source. I am alone in South Africa. If somebody contests me, I don't have 500 disciples to fight for me. I have to fight this battle myself. That's what you think. I'm with the creator of this knowledge. And that is why I fear no human. If you spend your day in this ashram, like some people do, alright, you will find that I am always working. I am always working. Now I'm busy building the Sri Narayan Dham Dam. The Sri Narayan Dham Dam. So where do these discourses come from, Anita?
Straight from Vedic.
I have a contact. I'm an Indian. Alright? And I'm using, like an Indian, this contact to benefit the world. To benefit this world. Are there any questions? Any questions?
No.
So you don't, the first language spoken was Sanskrit. First language spoken was Sanskrit. I am speaking English. Knowledge and language. There's another mistake that people are making. If you want to know God, then you must go learn Sanskrit first. Knowledge, language. Don't confuse the two. If you don't want to know about God, don't bring in language and discriminate against knowledge. Because I don't know language. Sorry, Sanskrit. I'm getting my feed of knowledge in English. I'm getting my feed in English, and I can verify through the verses in the Upanishads, which were originally in Sanskrit. There is no lies in a different language. There is a lie if you divert from the truth. Jai Sriman Narayan.
Jai Shri